ॐ श्री परमात्मने नमः। अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः सांख्य योगः। संजय उवाच तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम् अश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणं विषीदन्तमिदं वाक्यम् उवाच मधुसूदनः। Sanjaya said, Then Krishna spoke these words to Arjuna, who was overcome with pity and despair, his eyes filled with tears. Shri Bhagavan uvacha kutastva kashmalamidam vishame samupasthitam anaryajustam aswargyam akirtikaram Arjuna. Blessed Lord Shri Krishna said, From where does this despair, this sorrow come from, Arjuna, in the time of this crisis? It is not noble. It does not lead to heaven. It is disgraceful and doesn't lead to glory. Klaibyam masmagama partha naitattvai upapadyate Kshudram hrudaya daurbalyam tyaktotishta parantapa. O Arjuna, do not yield to such weakness. It does not befit a warrior like you. Cast away this petty faint-heartedness and stand up, O destroyer of enemies. Arjuna uvacha Katham bhishmavaham sankhye dronam cha madhusudana ishubhe pratiyotsyami pujarha varisudana. Arjuna said, O Krishna, how shall I attack Bhishma and Drona with arrows in the battle? They are worthy of worship. Guru nahatva hi mahanubhavan Shreyo bhoktum bhaikshyamapi haloke Hatvarthakamamstu guruni haiva Bhunjiya bhogan rudhira pradigdhan. It is indeed far better to be a beggar in this life than kill these great and noble gurus. Killing these gurus, any wealth, desire, and food that I eat will be tainted with blood. Nachaitadvidma kataranno gariyaha yadva jayema yadivano jayeyuhu yaneva hatva na jijivishamaha devasthita pramukhe dhartarashtraha. I do not even know which for us is better, that we conquer them or they conquer us. Having killed these sons of Dhritarashtra who are standing before us, we should not care to live. Karpanya dosho pahata swabhavaha prichhami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha Yachreyasyan nishchitam bruhitan me Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. My nature is overcome with the fault of weakness. My mind is confused about my duty. I ask you which may be better. Tell me for certain. I am your disciple. I surrender to you. Teach me. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudyat yachhokamuchhoshanam indriyanam avapya bhuma vasapatnam riddham rajyam suranam api chadhipatyam. I do not see what would drive away this grief that drains my senses. Even if I should obtain unrivaled kingdom on earth or even the lordship of the heavens. Sanjaya uvacha एवमुक्त्वा ऋषिकेशं गुडाकेशः परन्तपः न योत्स्य इति गोविन्दम् उक्त्वा तूष्णीं बभूवः. Sanjaya said, having spoken in this way to Hrishikesha, that is Krishna, Arjuna said, O Govinda, I will not fight, and became silent. Tamuvacha Hrishikeshaha prahasanniva bharata senayor ubhayor madhye vishitantamidam vachaha. O Dhritarashtra, descendant of Bharata. Then Sri Krishna, smiling as it were, spoke these words in the middle of the two armies to Arjuna, who was filled with despair. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Ashochanan Vashochastvam Prajna Vadamscha Bhashase Gatasu Nagatasumscha Nanushocanti Panditaha. Blessed Lord Sri Krishna said, you grieve for those who should not be grieved, and yet you appear as if you are speaking the words of wisdom. The wise grieve neither for the living nor for the dead. Natvevaham jatunasam natvam neme janadhipaha nachaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vayamata param. Indeed, there was never a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor these kings, and none of us will ever cease to exist. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavvanam jara tatha dehantara praptihi dhiras tatra na muhyati. Just like the soul which dwells in the body moves through childhood, adulthood and old age, similarly at the time of death it passes into another body. Therefore, a wise person, a steadfast person should not grieve. Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha agama paino nityaha tam stitikshasva bharata. O Arjuna, the contacts of matter or physical sensation, they result in cold and heat, pleasure and pain. They come and go, they are temporary. Endure them bravely. Yam hinam yathayantyete purusham purusharushabha samadukha sukham dhiram somritatvaya kalpate. The person who is not troubled by these or unaffected by these, one who is balanced in pain and pleasure, he is wise, steadfast and is worthy of immortality. Na sato vidyate bhavaha na bhavo vidyate sataha ubhayorapi drushtontaha tvanayostattvadarshibhihi. The unreal has no being or has no existence. The real never ceases to be. The truth about both has been perceived by the sages or the wise ones. Avinashitu tadviddhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinashamavyayasyasya na kaschit kartumarhati. That by which all this is pervaded, know that to be indestructible. Nothing can cause the destruction of the imperishable one. Antavanta ime dehaha nityasyoktha sharirinaha anashino prameyasya tasmadyudhyasva bharata. The physical body is finite and will come to an end, but the embodied self within the body or the soul within the body is eternal, indestructible and immeasurable. Therefore fight, O Arjuna. Ya enam vetti hantaram yaschainam manyate hatam ubhau tau na vijanitaha nayam hanti na hanyate. He who regards himself as the killer and he who thinks he is killed, both of them are ignorant. One does not kill nor is killed. Na jayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva bhavita vana bhuyaha ajo nitya shashvatoyam puranaha na hanyate hanyamane sharire. The soul is not born, nor does it ever die. Having existed in the past, it will never cease to be. It is unborn, endless, eternal, ancient, and it is not killed when the body is killed. Veda vinashinam nityam yaena majamavyayam katham sapurusha partha kam ghatayati hantikam. He who knows the soul is indestructible, eternal, unborn, imperishable, how can that man kill someone or cause anyone to be killed? Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinhati naroparani tatha sharirani vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. Just as a man who casts away or throws away his worn out old clothes and puts on new ones, in the same way the soul which resides in the body casts off its worn out bodies and enters into new ones. Nainam chindanti shastrani nainam dahati pavakaha na chainam kledayantyapaha na shochayati marutaha. The soul cannot be cut by any weapons. Fire cannot burn it. Water does not wet it, nor can wind dry it. Achedyoyam adahyoyam akledyo shosha evacha nitya sarvagata sthanuhu achaloyam sanatanaha. The soul cannot be cut, nor can it be burnt, wetted or dried. It is eternal, all-pervading, stable, immovable and ancient. Avyaktoyam achintyoyam avikaryoyam uchyate tasmad devam viditvainam nanu shochitumarhasi. The soul is unmanifest. It cannot be perceived by the senses. It is inconceivable or beyond all thought. It is changeless. Therefore, knowing this about the soul, you should not grieve. Atha chainam nityajatam nityam va manyase mrutam tathapi tvam mahabaho naivam shochitumarhasi. And even if you think soul as being constantly born and constantly dying, even then you should still not grieve, O Arjuna. जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्माद् अपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि. Death is certain for one who is born, and birth is certain for one who has died. Therefore, you should not grieve over something that is inevitable. Avyaktadini bhutani vyaktamadhyani bharata avyaktani dhananyeva tatra ka paridevana. O Arjuna, all beings have a beginning that is unmanifest. They have a middle that is manifest. And during destruction or death, they become unmanifest again. Therefore, what is there to grieve or cry? Ascharyavat pashyati kaschidenam Ascharyavat vadati tathaiva chanyaha Ascharyavat-chainamanyah shrunoti Shrutvaapyenam vedana chaiva kaschita. Some see the soul as marvelous, wonderful. Others speak of it as marvelous. And yet others have heard it to be marvelous. But even after hearing about it, no one indeed understands it. Dehi nityam avadhyoyam Dehe sarvasya bharata Tasmat sarvani bhutani Natvam shochitumarhasi. The soul which resides in the body of everyone is eternal and indestructible, unharmed. O Arjuna, therefore you should not grieve for any creature. Swadharmamapi chaveksha na vikampitumarhasi dharmyadhiyuddhat shreyonyat kshatriyasya na vidyate. Further, considering your own sense of duty, you should not tremble or be fearful. There is nothing greater to a kshatriya or warrior than honorable or righteous war. Yadrichaya chopapannam swargatvaram apavritam sukhinah kshatriya partha labhante yuddhamidrisham. It is by chance or fortune that the doors of heaven happen to be open. Happy are the kshatriyas, O Arjuna, who obtain such a fight and therefore enter the open doors of heaven. Atha chetvamimam dharmyam sangramam na karishyasi tatah swadharmam kirtim cha hitva papam avapsyasi. Now, if you will not fight in this righteous war, having thrown away or disregarding your own duty, dharma, and your reputation, you will be committing sin. Akirtim chapi bhutani kathayishyanti te vyayam sambhavitasya chakirtihi maranadatirichyate. If you choose not to fight, people will forever speak of your disgrace or dishonor. And to a respectable person or a man of honor, dishonor is worse than death. Bhayadranaduparatam mansyante tvam maharathaha yesham chatvam bahumataha bhutva yasyasi laghavam. The great warriors will think you have ran away from the battlefield out of fear, and those who held you in high esteem will treat you lightly or disrespect you. Avachya vadamscha bahun vadishyanti tavahitaha nindantas tava samarthyam tato dukkhataram nukim. Many insulting words would be spoken by your enemies. They will slander or tell lies about your strength. What could be more painful than this? Hato va prapsyasi swargam jitva va bhokshase mahim tasmaduttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krutanishchayah. Either you will be killed and attain heaven, or being victorious, you will enjoy rulership over the earth. Therefore, stand up, O Arjuna, having made a firm decision to fight. Sukha dukhe same krutva labha labhau jaya jayau tato yuddhaya yujyasva naivam papamavapsyasi. Considering as equal pleasure and pain, gain and loss, victory and defeat, engage in battle. In this way, you will incur no sin. Esha te bhita sankhye buddhir yoge tvimam shrunu buddhya yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. So far, I have described this teaching according to Sankhya philosophy. Now listen as I explain it according to Buddhi Yoga or Yoga of Knowledge. United with such a knowledge or acting with such a knowledge, you will be liberated from the bonds of action or karma. Neha bhikramana shosti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpamapyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. In this, there is no loss of effort, nor is there a loss of progress. Even a little practice of this knowledge or dharma protects one from great fear. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi yekeha kurunandana bahushakha yanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. O Arjuna, the intelligence of those who are of firm determination is of single focus or pointed in one direction, whereas those who are not of firm determination, their intelligence or thoughts have many branches and are endless. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadantya vipaschitaha vedavadarata partha nanyadastiti vadinaha. Flowery speech is spoken by men of small knowledge or ignorant people. Rejoicing in the words of Vedas, they say there is nothing but this. Kamatmana swargaparaha janma karma phalapradam kriya vishesha bahulam bhogaishwarya gatim prati. They perform various Vedic rituals and ceremonies, seeking desire for the self, obtaining heaven as the highest goal, seeking good birth or rebirth as the fruit of action, and attainment of pleasure and power. Bhogaishwarya prasaktanam taya prahrita chetasam vyavasayatmika buddhihi samadhau na vidhiyate. Those whose minds are carried away by attachment to pleasure and power, their intelligence is not possible to be resolute or to be of firm determination. Traigunya vishaya vedaha nistraigunyo bhavarjuna nirdvandvo nitya sattvasthaha niryogakshema atmavan. Vedas deal with three gunas, sattva, rajasa and tamasa. Be free of the three gunas, O Arjuna. Be indifferent to the pairs of opposite. Free yourself from duality. Satisfied in the self always remain in sattva, free from possessions or concern to acquire anything. Yavanartha udapane sarvatah samplutodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. All the Vedas are as useful to an enlightened Brahmana just as small reservoir or small tank of water is useful in a place covered all over with water. Another interpretation of this shloka is, all the Vedas are as much of value to an enlightened person as a well surrounded by water during a flood. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phala heturbuhu ma te sangostva karmani. You have the right only for performing work, but not with its result. Do not let the fruits of action or the results of action to be your only motive. You should also not be attached to inaction. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. O Arjuna, perform your duty established in yoga, free from attachment and balanced evenly in success and failure. Such equanimity or calmness of mind, balance of mind is called yoga. Actions performed with attachment to the results are far inferior than those that are done with yoga of knowledge. In this context, it is also called Sankhya Yoga or equanimity, calmness of mind. Therefore, O Arjuna, take refuge in reason. Those who want to enjoy the fruits of their work are misers. Durena hyavaram karma buddhi yoga dhananjaya buddhau sharanamanvichha krupana phalahetavaha. Equipped with a balanced mind, one becomes free from both good and evil. Therefore, be united in Sankhya Yoga. This yoga is skill in action. Karmajam buddhi yukta hi phalam tyaktva manishinaha janma bandha vinirmuktaha padam gacchantyanāmayam. The wise, united in Sankhya Yoga, renounce or give up the fruits of action and are liberated from the bonds of birth and go to a place which is painless or beyond all sorrow. Yada te moha kalilam buddhir yatitarishyati tada gantasi nirvedam shrotavyasya shrutasya cha. When your mind shall cross and escape this tangle of delusion or net of delusion, then you shall go to a state of being completely indifferent as to what has been heard and what shall be heard. Shruti vipratipannate yada sthasyati nischala samadhavachala buddhihi tada yogam avapsyasi. When your mind is not easily confused by various texts of Vedic scriptures and remains steady, immovable, fixed in deep contemplation or meditation, then you will attain yoga. Arjuna uvacha sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhisthasya keshava sthitadhi kim prabhasheta kimasita vrajeta kim. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the description of a man who is of stable mind or having a steady intelligence? How does this steady-minded person talk? How does he sit? How does he walk? Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati Yada Kaman Sarvan Partha Manogatan Atmanyevatmana Tushtaha Sthita Prajnastadochyate. Blessed Lord Sri Krishna said, Arjuna, when a person abandons all desires of the heart and is satisfied only in himself alone, then he is said to be of a steady mind. Dukkheshvanudvikna manaha sukheshu vigataspruhaha vitaraga bhaya krodhaha sthitadhir muniruchyate. He whose mind is not disturbed by pain or sorrow, who is not affected by pleasure, and who is free from attachment, fear and anger, such a person with steady mind is called a sage or muni. Yah sarvatra nabhisneha tat tat prapya shubha shubham nabhinandati nadveshti tasya prajna pratisthita. One who is without attachment on every side, whatever circumstance be it, good or bad, one who neither pleases nor hates, intelligence of such a person is said to be established in wisdom. Yada samharate chayam kurmongani va sarvashaha indriyani indriyarthebhyaha tasya prajna pratisthita. And just as the tortoise withdraws its limbs from all sides, he who withdraws his senses from sense objects, his intelligence is said to be established in wisdom. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehinaha rasavarjam rasopyasya param drishtva nivartate. The sense objects turn away when rejected by the body, but their taste for it still remains. Even this taste or relish is lost or turns away on seeing the Supreme. Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha. O Arjuna, indeed, even for a wise person who is striving for wisdom, his mind is forcibly carried away by the impulsive senses. Tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vashehi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratisthita. Having restrained all the senses, one should sit engaged in me as his supreme goal. He who has indeed controlled his senses, his intelligence is said to be established in wisdom. Dhyayate vishayan pumsaha sangaste shupajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bhijayate. When a man contemplates or thinks on material objects, sense objects, he develops an attachment towards them. From attachment comes desire. From desire comes anger. Krodhat bhavati sammohaha, sammohat smriti vibhramaha, smriti bhramshat buddhinashaha, buddhinashat pranashyati. From anger arises delusion. Delusion causes memory to be confused. Confused memory results in the destruction of reason. That is, the capacity to reason is destroyed. From destruction of reason, a man is ruined and perishes. Ragadvesha viyuktaistu vishayan indriyaischcharan atmavaschair vidheyatma prasadhamadhigacchati. But a self-controlled person, restraining his senses, attains peace by moving among sense objects, free from likes and dislikes. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate prasanna chetaso hyashu buddhi paryavatishthate. In that state of peace, all of one's pains and miseries are destroyed. For him whose mind is peaceful, his intelligence or reason is quickly established. Nasti buddhirayuktasya nacha yuktasya bhavana nacha bhavayatah shantihi ashantasya kutah sukham. There is no intelligence or capacity to reason for the undisciplined mind, nor is there concentration for the undisciplined with unsteady mind. Without concentration, there is no peace, and without peace, how can there be any happiness? Indriyanam hi charatam yanmanonu vidhiyate tadasya harati prajñam vayornavamivambhasi. When the mind is led astray by the wandering senses, it carries away intelligence or capacity to reason, just as wind carries away a ship upon the waters. Tasmad yasya mahabaho nigruhitani sarvashah indriyani indriyarthebhyah tasya prajña pratisthita. Therefore, O mighty arm Arjuna, whose senses are all completely restrained from the object of the senses, his intelligence is established in wisdom. Yanisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagarti samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sanisha pashyato munehe. That which is night for all beings, for the disciplined, self-controlled person, it is the time of waking. When the other beings are waking, it is the night time for the sage or muni who sees the truth. Apuryamana machala pratishtham samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnoti nakamakami. Just as the ocean remains unmoved when rivers flow into ocean and fills it, a person into whom all desires enter, but he remains unmoved, such a person attains peace, not the person who is full of desires. Vihaya kaman yah sarvan pumam sharati nisprahah nirmamo nirahankaraha sashanti madhigacchati. A person who has given up all desires and he who goes free from wants, selfless, without a sense of mind, without ego, he attains peace. Esha brahmi sthiti partha nainam prapya vimuhyati sthitva syam antakalepi brahma nirvana mruchati. O Arjuna, this is the supreme state or state of Brahman. Having attained such a state, a person is not deluded or not confused. Such a person, even in the time of death, attains Brahma Nirvana or oneness with Brahman. Om Tatsaditi Srimad-Bhagavad-Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishnarjuna Samvade Sankhya Yoga Nama Dvitiyodhyayah.